Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Luke Cage on Netflix, episodes 4 through 6. Step in the arena just to get a rep, and suckers need bodyguards, which I've always said. Kim Horcher joining us today.
Hey everybody.
Bibbs, Alonso, hello.
Kim, you weren't here last time. At this point in the series, What do you think? Just what catches up?
I'm past this point in the series.
Yes,
we all are,
but we're doing it like this. Deal with it, internet.
I'm having a great time with it. I like it a lot. I think it's a good balance between the art of what the comic is and what it's supposed to be, and also reflecting some real stuff that's actually happening and is current and necessary to talk about. I'm having a good time with it. I really like Cottonmouth, though I've heard complaints off camera that he's a little too corny.
I'm into him.
Corny, not as in Cornell.
The Netflix series are way more grounded than a lot of superhero stuff. You can compare this to Civil War. It seems pretty straightforward. There's still comic books. We're still dealing with larger-than-life characters. Luke Cage is a larger-than-life hero. I think he's the hero we need more than perhaps any other hero I've seen lately. But he's somewhat grounded, but he's still a super strong, indestructible dude.
Mm-hmm.
So
and it's
I'm
not,
okay
and
if
it's not
these
like
bad guys are kind of big.
And it's not like they gave us, what is it, the Sinister Snake Society? Is that what they were?
The Serpent Society.
The Serpent Society.
Sinister Snake Society sounds like the Darkwing Duck fake version of that.
Nonetheless, I think they've eased it down. And as I keep saying, I'm just here for Alfre Woodard as Mariah. She's so great.
She's been doing so well this whole series, and she only gets better as it goes on.
Oh no, yeah, I love where we're going with her. But so we're still in the first. So for 4 through 6. So episode 4, Step in the Arena is the prison flashback episode.
Yes, where we see Luke Cage's origin. We get to see him wear the big badass crown and the mannequin
blouse,
gauntlets. I guess I don't know what you call the bracelets.
What are they?
Gauntlets.
The gauntlets.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
whatever.
yes, they
Whatever.
are
Whatever they are, they're cool.
But that's for sure a blouse. Don't get wrong on that.
And yet he wears it so well.
Yeah.
He looks really, really
He wears it
great.
long enough to show you that he could pull it off and chooses not to.
There's a very controversial statement made in episode 4 that I had to pause it and seriously think about it and can decide how I feel. Is Fist of Legend better than Fist of Fury?
Oh, I always go Bruce Lee. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just
There's
as
an
a general
argument to be made.
statement, I think
I agree, but I think there's an argument to be made.
I suppose.
Because that's a really, really good remake. So you tell us.
I'm on Luke Cage's side on this one, but it's not like a totally insane thing like saying. I'm trying to think the 1950s M is better than the silent one, something like that.
I know that would be dumb.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Marlo Thomas, It's a Wonderful Life is better than
perfect
the
example. Thank you. Yeah. So in this case,
okay.
I'll allow it. And I'm looking at my phone just because I'm trying to keep track of which episode is which. What is the thing with Marvel superheroes in other media? There's a lot of dunk tanking going on. Wolverine was all about getting submerged and stuff. Deadpool was in they kept putting in that weird oxygen tank thing. Now we've got Luke Cage getting, simmered.
I think that's how they explain a complete biological shift, because everyone else seems to have some basis in still being basically human, but these people have been mutated from the genetic level into something new.
And there's only so many radioactive spiders to go around.
And I think it's really mad science-y too, which I kind of like. We haven't seen a lot of good old-fashioned mad science, with levers.
Right.
And assistants, and don't touch the lever. Like when the evil prison guard,
Rackham.
Yeah, Rackham. When he attacked Cage in that thing, I just kept hearing the mad science say, "Not to 50!" It's good mad science. It was fun.
One thing about this show, and I mean, my understanding for these is that they are rated R, right? I mean, that's
basically
that's the bar, and that's for a lot of cable shows too. Like as long as what they do operates within an R rating, that's.
You'll notice they never drop an F-bomb, and apparently that's on purpose.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, where I was going was there's a swear jar.
There's a swear jar, but they never drop the big,
exactly.
Big swears.
But
they do FX at 10 p.m. swears.
What I was noticing though is there's a lot of stabbing on this show and almost no blood.
Yeah, that'll get you.
You
A
know,
higher
there's a
rating.
lot like just you'll see in various episodes, like not just like but like repeated, and then but still nothing. You
Is
know?
the most violent thing we've seen still the Kingpin decapitating a guy with a car door, or was there like the one like really bad Kilgrave scene that I'm thinking of with like that family where he was going to have them all chop themselves up?
Oh yeah, didn't he have like a couple?
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can get pretty far.
Okay,
Then again,
I'm
so
just
can
I'm just
TV
curious about
nowadays.
the parameters for
Look at
this
any
stuff.
Law and Order.
Now,
basically.
mind you, all of the prison flashbacks are happening while he is crawling out of the rubble of Genghis Khan's,
I
which
love
at
the
the end of episode
relationship,
3.
between Connie and her husband with Luke, which is it starts off really thorny, but then moves to a place of more respect and.
Did it
And-
start-
and it-
I like that they didn't make it really like stereotypical either. Like
Right.
they can speak English very well and they have no accents.
I
And
did
this
like
is
that.
not being fair when they're like speak English, you know.
Yeah, and it introduces the whole hero for hire concept too. You know,
a little bit. Did it occur to anyone that Connie's husband wasn't terribly emotional when she was trapped under that rubble? The cops are like, "Oh, your wife's under there." And he was like, "Yep. Hopefully she gets out."
Fair.
And he didn't really seem like terribly worked up. I don't know if that
He was holding it
interesting
together,
choice.
man.
I guess so. Holding it together for the non-existent kids.
well, and then just for his own sake.
I guess it just struck me as sort of muted. Maybe I'm being the jerk. Maybe I'm being Scotty in like Star Trek 6, and the Klingons didn't shed a single bloody tear. Well, you know, tear ducts.
You're being the media toward Amanda Knox.
Okay.
That's elsewhere on
That's another
on
Netflix show.
I
yes.
missed that one. Okay, I haven't seen that show yet.
So that fun episode, and obviously gives us catches up on a lot of stuff. Episode 5 starts with Night Nurse. Yay! We have Night Nurse. Hooray!
And the world is a better place for it, I think.
Always, yes. And I love that the concept of Nixon's benign neglect is brought up in this episode.
I love that he brings out the book and he talks about, music and power.
Yeah,
and
where hip hop came from.
unironically by the Biggie poster. And then he just shuts him down with a gun.
Like, what do you think we are, The Wire?
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to be reading. Stop. Well, I guess they read a lot, actually.
No, they do.
Sure.
Please,
Yeah.
when it looks like Luke is going to flee, he throws his copy of Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man into his duffel
But I guess
bag.
it's the bad guys who don't read. Like, the bad
That's
guys
true,
are,
yes.
I mean, I guess they're literate. They are reading, but they're not exactly, like, enlightened.
Did you
right
notice
now.
one of the bad guys had a Legend of Zelda shirt on?
No.
Yes, look again. It's a great Easter egg.
So this is the episode where Cottonmouth decides to basically do that whole like Marine Corps boot camp thing where one guy screws up like in Full Metal Jacket.
So make
everyone has to
everybody
do
else
push-ups.
suffer, yeah.
So he's gonna make everyone suffer. Tell everyone, yeah, we stole your ring. Well, ask Luke Cage why I did this on my own.
Which doesn't seem smart. You get why Mariah's mad at him.
Yeah, it's a
I think
stupid
he's
idea.
such a compelling character. He's not great at being a villain, though.
Well, that's kind of cool, I think, that he's not perfect and measured and, like a classical supervillain. He's kind of flailing. And in a way that makes him a little more dangerous and that makes him a little bit more believable. And I'm more interested in him as a character than I am in, let's be honest here, Netflix has got it all over the Marvel movies when it comes to villains.
Yeah.
Like Loki, okay, fine. But like all the other Marvel villains are pretty forgetable. And then the Netflix shows, they just get so much more background.
You're right.
So much more
And
fascinating.
I think with
good
with
point.
what you're looking at with Cornell and Mariah is that they're both second generation, and there's always that thing of the people who start the business and who are driven and hungry and created it from nothing, and then the ones they bequeath it to who maybe didn't want to have it bequeathed to them in the first place or don't have that same kind of impetus to keep it alive, and so they're maintaining the Mama Mabel, is that her name?
Yep.
Yeah.
Empire, but in their own way and with their own degree of indifference.
I wonder how long ago this episode was written, because the whole Pop's funeral is this episode,
Yeah.
and we have Cottonmouth's speech and we have Luke Cage's speech, and it feels so ridiculously topical when Cottonmouth goes up there and he says, I believe in Harlem and I believe in getting all the non-Harlemites out. Like, screw them. And Luke Cage says, I believe in all of the people. And that's the important thing. And I'm just like, can we watch this debate instead this weekend? Like, what the hell? This is
Well,
really on
I think
point.
sadly some things never go out of style, and yeah, I mean it is. You're right, it is very relevant, but it's also it's an ongoing discussion in this country, and an ongoing sentiment, unfortunately. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that throwdown at the funeral I thought was pretty great, and a good example of using dialogue to underscore what's happening in the plot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of times you don't see that as effectively, or somebody gets up and gives a speech that's supposed to like rile everybody up, and it's like, it wasn't that great a speech, you know.
No, often
but
it's
this
not.
one actually, you know, you buy it.
And I like this show just for having conversations a lot of the time instead of going straight for the action. And I realize part of that is just the budget. You can't have a nonstop action sequence for 10 hours.
Right.
But these are smart people, like even people like Cottonmouth who don't have all their shit together. They're intelligent people with thought out perspectives who differ.
Yeah.
And that comes out a lot. That comes out more than their fists. And I admire that.
This episode also introduces the notion of the Judas bullet, which is going to become very important as we move along.
Yeah.
Is that a thing from the comics? This thing they
I don't
made up?
remember that. That's a new thing on me. Kim, you've been keeping
I've
up more
never
than
heard
that.
of it.
Okay.
I think they're tying it closer to the Avengers with the alien metal material
Right.
kind
Yeah.
of thing. You know, the big event in New York.
Yeah, although the idea was that they managed to clean up all of that, if you remember the Marvel one-shot Item 47.
Oh.
So there really should be none of it left.
Well, but you know, I mean, what if it's
I don't
just
know if the one-shots are canon anymore.
what if
though,
it's just
after
adamantium? You know, I don't know.
They don't have adamantium. Adamantium belongs
Oh,
to
that's
X-Men.
yeah.
That's why.
Belongs-
That's
sorry.
why.
Vibranium.
Yeah,
sorry.
Captain America's shield
sorry.
can't be adamantium, and this one is Fox has it.
Vibranium is
Yeah.
what it is. Anyway, okay. But
It's the other adamantium.
yes.
It's fine. And then we have episode 6.
Then we have episode 6, which opens with Trish Talk. So that's our.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's our Jessica Jones tie-in, and this is the scarf episode, as you pretty much nailed it earlier on.
So we found out Scarf is dirty, and he's not the only one. So maybe Cottonmouth isn't as flailing and ineffective, or at least he didn't used to be, because they've been under his thumb for a while now, right?
Definitely, and it turns out he's not. But Scarf not only dirty but greedy, and that's what gets him. In the end.
But I kind of admire this episode because obviously we don't like Scarf. He betrayed Misty, who we love. He killed someone who was trying to do the right thing. What a jerk!
I never really clung on to the dialogues he had with Misty about like the cop talk, and I never really, those always rang the least true to me in the show.
They were a little contrived, but like even so, like I guess my point is that I never really felt anything for him other than my general like of Frank Whaley as an actor. And here, like in dying, trying to make it right, trying to actually like, his last words to Misty were very, seemed very genuine. You made me like him after you made me hate him, and I kind of would like that, or at least sympathize a little bit.
Did it seem like they brought on his story too late? Like it just seemed all of a sudden, oh, he's dirty. Oh, wait, he had a son who died. It's just
That
like
got tacked
it's
on.
too late.
It does feel like a lot crammed into a
exposition.
few episodes. Like they could have maybe stretched that out from the beginning, but then you have to have the reveal that he's the bad cop, and you don't want to do that too early, and so
It's a tricky situation. He really doesn't have a lot else.
he's
Keeping
kind
him
of
around wouldn't mean anything.
He's kind of there to get the plot from this place to that place, and as we'll see in future episodes.
Speaking of this place to that place, does it occur to anyone else that this episode is basically the movie 16 Blocks?
I haven't seen that movie.
I never saw 16
With
Blocks.
Bruce Willis and Mos Def, where you got to get like a witness over to the police station, but everyone's trying to kill you on the way there.
Oh, right. Well,
It's okay. It's not great. It's pretty
isn't that
good.
also the premise of Clint Eastwood's The Gauntlet?
I didn't see The Gauntlet.
Okay, well
fair
then.
enough.
I loved
Respect.
the news aspect of this one where
Oh,
Tim B
right.
showed up like, oh, we're gonna have a fun interview. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, but this is why no one gives live interviews
Yeah.
because they're just gotcha moments. But movies and TV, in the same way that also on this show, they still love physical photographs, which no one ever has anymore. Like it's all everything's on a tablet now. But boy, they love to hand you a photo to look at a photo. They love live interviews so that they can really screw somebody over, which is what they do.
Yeah.
What I thought was interesting in this episode is that. Obviously, as we move along, we will see Mariah go to darker places. But this is showing that she's already capable of these thoughts where she says, well, can he burn? Does he have gills? Like, she is not
That's
anybody's
already,
like
a
shrinking
much
violent.
better idea than Cornell's idea of just shoot him again, shoot him again.
That always bothered me with like someone like Wolverine. Oh, he's indestructible. Drown him.
Burn
He has
him.
to breathe.
Poison him.
Yeah, chop him into lots and lots and lots of little pieces or something.
Wolverine's
I don't
come
know.
back from that.
Okay.
Wolverine in the comics has come back from a single drop of blood, and boy, was that waste of really stupid. We do not speak of that issue anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
But I did like when Tempe came back, like, psych, I'm still in your house. What do you think of Cornell getting arrested?
I was just on the stoop.
There's one last thing, and I like, because this is a very street level mentality. This is not the mentality of a rich billionaire who blows up a bunch of stuff with his robot suit and then goes and has shawarma. At the end of everything, Luke Cage says, all I care about is that you're okay and that your mom's van was insured. That's a great line.
That's a responsible man.
That is a responsible man with a great ear for dialogue. That was really good.
All right, so much more Luke Cage to come, and we can't wait to tell you about it, so check back with us. Bye.